We interrupt our regularly scheduled nonsense to tell you about this episode's sponsor, Knack. Knack bags are a unique combination of laptop bags and backpacks. They are expandable when you need the extra space, endlessly adaptable for any situation, and fully padded to protect your most precious electronics.
That's right, coupled with a stylish modern design, Knack bags are the perfect companion for 9 to 5 commuting, jet setting adventure, and everything in between. Shuffle off to knackbags.com to get yours today.
For a limited time only, use offer code BEYOND to check out to get a free TSA-approved bag lock with your purchase.
Yes, that's offer code BEYOND to get your lock with purchase of your Knack bag of choice.
This is Beyond the Bench with Nick Morgasen and Nick Fodera. A look at sports and pop culture from beyond common sense. The show that constantly goes off the rails and might never get back on. When you don't belong, you're a bench warmer. On this show, there's no riding the bench. This is Beyond the Bench on the Empty the Bench Podcast Network. Welcome, everybody. Episode 23 of Beyond the Bench on the Empty the Bench Podcast Network, presented by Knack Bags. That's Nick Fodera. I'm Nick Morgasen. Make sure you follow us on social media as it scrolls across, but we're going to share it to you in a bunch of different ways. So, off the top, here we go. Follow us on Twitter at Beyond the Bench 1. Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/Beyond the Bench 1. And follow us on the Empty the Bench Podcast Network at ETV Network. And if I can quickly reach to my side over here, our presenting sponsor, Knack Bags.
That's
Please,
right.
please
Knack
make you
bags
go follow them.
Yeah, go ahead. So, Knack bags are impossibly stylish, impossibly everything you need. So don't ramble without a Knack bag. It's completely modern. And make sure you go to knackbags.com to get yours. When you go to checkout, make sure you use offer code BEYOND to get 15%. Or actually, you can actually get a TSA approved lock for
free.
For free. Yep. And ladies and gentlemen, the reason why I'm screwing up these ad reads is because there's just so much to talk about in this show. I just can't do it anymore.
Well, I'll clarify it again just so people know. When you go to knackbags.com and you go and you buy this stylish bag that I'm holding in my hand, make sure you put in the code BEYOND, BEYOND, at checkout. Remember, this is not a discount code. This is a free gift code. So when you buy something, you're getting a TSA-approved lock, $15 value for free. And we all know how much Nick likes free.
Oh, well, yeah. You free the bird. You free the birds. You free yourself. You free your pants.
So, yeah, go check them out. Okay, here we go. First of all, how was your week, Nick?
It was a pretty interesting week. If you are impossibly connected, you are forced to be impossibly connected to social media in terms of creating things. Because if ever there was a week that was perfectly engineered, where the current events are perfectly engineered to make social media eat itself, it's this week.
Yeah.
Because
so
this was supposed to be a week where we were coming together for the first time in a while to celebrate movies that nobody saw, movies that nobody saw on a telecast that nobody watches.
You mean because,
as it turns out,
wait a minute, because the numbers of the Oscars have been dropping for, I don't know, a bajillion years at this point?
Yes, they have. And it turns out of course, the Oscars, the Oscars, the ABC was basically pleading. They were praying to God that they would get people to watch more. And as it turns out, they made that wish on a monkey's paw. And the monkey's paw finger curled and got us this week's telecast. So, in which Will Smith, I mean, there's no other way to put it, he bitch slapped Chris Rock because of a joke he made about his wife, Jada Pinkett Smith's hair loss. So, for those of you who haven't seen it yet, if you've been living under a rock or on some kind of distant planet for the past couple of days,
you missed something major.
You missed something frankly incredible.
Well,
And
let me go full disclosure for a second. I didn't watch the Oscars because I'm tired of the political bullshit that goes on at any award show. But if you weren't on social media and you didn't see it, you're a nut.
because essentially I did, although I was kind of flipping through it, kind of half paying attention to it, and I found that when I switched back to the Oscars, the mood in the room was kind of tense, and I noticed that everything was Twitter was just blowing up, and I didn't realize. Wait a minute, when I first saw what happened, I think it was the Japanese feed of the telecast.
It was Japanese and Australian.
And Australia. So I'm like, wait, that has to be a bit. I saw him strut up to the stage and smack Chris Rock across the. Now, I originally thought it was a bit because, again, the Oscars are known for having bits and getting, getting the celebrities in on it. I mean,
wait a minute.
Schumer did the exact same thing with Kirsten Dunst.
Wait a minute.
On the show.
The biggest bit of all time was for the last 2 years they didn't even have a host. That was a major bit.
That was a major bit. However, this was not fake. This was absolutely. He absolutely took offense. He absolutely got very pissed off at what. Well, first of all,
let's give a
little context here.
Wait, so if you watch some of the angles of what goes down, so Chris Rock. First of all, the awards shows need to know right off the bat. What do you think is going to happen when a comedian goes up on stage during an awards show? I'm sorry, but the Oscars kind of asked for this partially. And
I mean, they did. However, you know what? You finish your point and then I'll make
my point is, so Chris Rock goes up. I think Chris Rock is one of the funniest comedians of all time.
Oh, that's not in dispute.
And was the joke a lot out of taste? Absolutely, it was a lot out of taste. You don't make fun of someone who has alopecia. And now, wait a minute. I understand that the G.I. Jane reference because who was the one that played it in the original?
Demi Moore.
Okay, so she shaved her head
She shaved her head.
But
whether Chris Rock was aware of it or not,
he was aware. Come on.
See, I don't condone what Will Smith did.
I don't condone
but I do understand it. I get it.
But I don't condone the joke either. I think the joke was a little inappropriate too.
The joke was a little tasteless. The joke was a little. I mean, read the friggin' room, Chris. And it's apparently we found out afterwards that joke was not in the script. That was Chris basically ad-libbing a bit.
That's what comedians do.
So Will Smith laughs. You could see him do the kind of nervous laughter. It's like,
and then no.
Belly laughing at the joke.
It wasn't a nervous laugh. He laughed.
No, it was. You could tell it was a nervous laugh, though.
No, but Nick, partially the angle. If you look, he actually is laughing. And then when she makes that disgust face, that's when it changed.
And I don't blame her for making that. I don't blame her for making that face at all. And look. And he walks up and slaps Chris Rock across the face, and then goes off to his seat. As Chris Rock, of course, ever the consummate professional, doesn't even break his concentration.
No, he did.
I think Will Smith just beat the shit out of me, and then you could hear during the Australian broadcast and the Japanese broadcast
because they don't have to censor.
Will Smith actually shouted from his seat, "Keep my wife's name out of your fucking mouth."
Now, first of all, I was talking to Kyle, who does the Her Show for us on this podcast network. He was working in TV, still be working in TV. I found out from him that all award shows are technically on 30-second delay.
They are, which means if anything goes wrong, if anybody pulls a Janet Jackson and there's a wardrobe malfunction or says something untowards, or I don't know, one of the light fixtures collapses or something, you can easily cut away or blur anything that's.
The delay wasn't enough, though.
The delay wasn't enough. I mean, you could tell what he was saying because the camera was on him, and it doesn't really take a lip read to see that he was saying, "Keep my wife's name out of your fucking mouth."
Well, he was screaming. You could hear that.
He was screaming. You could absolutely hear that.
But where's the
And
security, though?
see, here's the thing. Apparently, we found out later. Well, I think it was yesterday actually, that they were thinking about removing him from the building.
They couldn't do that. The reason they couldn't do that is because
They
he was
couldn't
up.
do that.
Because he was up for what? Best actor,
He was up for best actor.
which he won, by the way.
He won, which means which was really one of the most awkward acceptance speeches I've ever seen.
Wait a minute.
You would have think it's apology / acceptance speech.
Wait a minute. Not just one of the most awkward of all time, the worst of all time.
I would have expected Nick Castellanos to hit a home run, into the back row just to make sure.
Well, by the way, that happened to him again in spring training.
It did. And look, I don't think because the what made Twitter explode, and it still turbocharges the discourse.
The bitch slap from hell is what made it go viral.
But if there are people saying, "Oh, you can't condone violence. It was assault." No
one is condoning the violence.
No one is condoning the violence, least of all him, because he did. He did issue an apology statement.
Yeah, but that doesn't make it better.
Doesn't make it better. But again, just to see that he understands that what he did was wrong. However,
it makes me wonder, though, and I'll let you make the statement you're about to make. It makes me wonder, though, if they were doing it for ratings. Because if you look at the ratings spike after, they were at like 17 or 18 million when they were at 9.
And then they spiked really big.
So the Academy, first of all, is a bunch of bullshit artists, in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
And I just
yeah, go ahead.
It's bad. And you know what? It didn't help that you have 3 political comedians / actresses hosting it.
Who are you referring to? Are you referring to Chris Rock or?
No, I'm referring to the hosts as well. They started off the fucking show with making a joke about the gay bill in Florida.
I mean, again,
that was out of poor taste.
A lot of this, you know, a lot of the humor is enough to rib them, but not enough to really hit them where it hurts.
Can someone cancel Amy Schumer while we're at it?
They tried to, because they didn't think that because they thought that she was actually insulting Kirsten Dunst by referring to her as a seat filler.
And by the way,
however, that was a bit. She told Kristen she was going to do that.
And I was going to save this, but I'll go to this one now. This, of all things, became revealed after the show as well. Speaking of hair issues with Amy Schumer.
So trichotillomania, for those of you who don't know, is a disorder in which you pull your hair out when you're nervous. And I think so. Is that a gross oversimplification or not?
No, I think that's. I've heard of this disorder before. I didn't know it had that long name, but
I did. I knew what trichotillomania was, but see, I don't. I'm inclined to give Amy Schumer, you know, the benefit of the doubt here, because enlighten me. Were people actually making jokes about the fact that she had trichotillomania?
No, but it's ironic that it was revealed right after the show when Chris Rock made a hair joke.
I think that's irony for you, but you know, I really don't think that because people are saying, "Oh, alopecia isn't a disability." A disability is a disability. It's a genetic disorder.
What? What do you mean it's not a disorder?
It's not a disability, which it kind of is, seeing as how you literally cannot grow hair.
Last time I checked, and for people who are ignorant, you've dealt with a disability, I've dealt with a disability, whether it's learning or physical disability, it doesn't matter. We've all dealt with it.
And look, if somebody had made fun of me or made a wheel, because you know I haven't really talked about it, but you know I have cerebral palsy, and if somebody had made a wheelchair joke, you know, that I consider that. Call me sensitive if you want, but
I don't think that's
that's a
sensitive.
little that's over the line. You
I
don't you can make fun of him if it was shaved. If it was a fashion choice.
right.
But this is something that she literally could not help.
Well, I'll go behind the curtain too, because I could give two shits at this point because I'm past it. But my learning disability in school, people used to give me shit because I had a directional learning disability. I had to ask for things to be repeated a million times. I got to a point, and I'm not proud of it, but I shoved someone almost in a locker because they were insulting me to death.
Yeah, making fun of you. I mean, because the people that say, "Oh, Will Smith was just being so sensitive." I mean, I understand why he did it. I understand why he did it because when someone you love is disabled, or has a disability, and you, of course, Will Smith. Don't get me wrong here. Will Smith is fucking crazy.
So is she.
Yeah, they're both fucking crazy. So
She's cheated on him.
The comedy of it is Chris Rock said it to the one person who's crazy enough to go out there and haul off and bitch slap him.
But wait a minute. Like I had just said, she's cheated on him before.
I mean, whether she did or not, it really doesn't matter.
No, it's out there.
Yeah, it's out there because they volunteered that information. But what one has to do with the other, I don't see.
No, because people are saying, why are you defending a woman that has actually publicly cheated on you, is what people are saying.
To my counterpoint is, are they married or not? Do they love each other or not? I mean, her cheating on him doesn't all of a sudden invalidate everything that he did. It's like there's not a morals clause for these kinds of things, you know?
Right. No, I get it, but
and it just
this whole thing is
just how toxic the discourse has become, where anybody who expresses any kind of opinion is either condoning assault or is a giant hypocrite. And honestly,
I put out a poll. I put out a poll on our account on Twitter at Beyond the Bench 1 the night when this happened. Did the Academy Awards stage this altercation between Will Smith? Oh, 1 second. Oh, ooh. Not dying over here, I promise.
It's so bad, it's making him choke to death.
Ooh. Did the Academy Awards stage this altercation between Will Smith and Chris Rock because of their massive decline in ratings? Yes or no? A lot of votes, by the way. How do you think it went?
I would say the majority of them said no.
64%, a lot of votes, said no.
So again, it's not a I mean, it's not necessarily. So it happened. That's not in dispute. But all of a sudden, everybody has to chime in. Jim Carrey did the exact same thing.
Oh yeah, so I'm glad you brought that up. So let's talk about this. So I have it here. Jim Carrey says he was sickened by Hollywood's reaction to Will Smith slapping Chris Rock. What do you think about this?
See, his name first. His name is 2 R's, by the way.
Excuse me, what?
His name is 2 R's.
God damn it!
No, it's okay. But I will tell you. I mean, what is it about ego? What is it about ego that just makes people weird? Besides,
I think Jim Carrey should shut the fuck up, considering some of the shit that's going on.
Considering some of the shit he's pulled. I mean, not even talking about his relationship with Jenny McCarthy.
I was just about to say that he basically ran away from his kids and Jenny McCarthy.
I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about the time when he didn't he forcibly kiss somebody?
Yes, I think allegedly. Yes.
So yeah, so I really, again, it's hypocrisy is what it is.
This makes me think of when A-Rod said I didn't do drugs when he clearly was doing the drugs.
See, everybody is saying that. Oh well, every comedian I follow on Twitter is just chiming in and saying, "Oh well, Chris Rock, he's not going to be able to recover from this.
What?
No comedian is safe now." It's like
His ticket prices has quadrupled.
exactly, and he is exactly just as rich, if not richer, than he was when he started out. Nothing got hurt other than Chris Rock's pride, and Chris Rock, believe me, Chris Rock has dealt with people beating the.
Do I
He's dealt with people heckling him.
do I have to? I actually, excuse me. You and I talked about. Do you remember what story we originally talked about Chris Rock about?
Wait, when we were talking about everybody hates Chris for a while.
No, that he wasn't vaccinated. Remember, he refused.
Yeah.
So he was already in the spotlight for refusing to be vaccinated.
So now now you get a bunch of positive press.
I think he's in Boston tonight. I think his tour actually started tonight.
Yeah, exactly. So he is.
Wait a minute.
Chris Rock ain't gonna hurt from this.
This is going to become material though now.
Oh, this is absolutely going to become material. Within the next 6 months to 1 year, it's probably going to be one of his best stand-up routines ever. So you have to understand something. So as far as we know right now, AMPAS, the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, the governing body of the Oscars, is apparently considering disciplinary action. What that actually means is, of course, they're keeping it as vague as possible. I guess it could mean they kick him out of the Academy if he's not already a member, or...
He is. He has to be a member, because if he's winning awards and all that stuff, he's got to be a member.
But I don't think they should take his best actor.
Okay, this is the dumb thing, and I'm glad you brought this up. They're not taking his award away. Shut the fuck up.
Especially not after they make such a stink about how sacred the Oscars are. It's like, really? The Oscars is basically just a PR campaign for celebrities. That's it. That's all it ever was.
Well, all award shows are PR campaigns for celebrities. It's just a matter of which one you want to watch.
The Oscars was basically invented to be as a good PR campaign after they started unionizing in the 20s and 30s.
But wait a minute. So you have the Oscars for movies, you have the Grammys for music. Like, pick your choice, pick your poison, as you and I would say.
Yes, like I said, there's nothing sacred about Oscars. We give it meaning. It does not have.
By the way, the Oscars
inherent.
The Oscars lost meaning to me, especially when Kevin Hart was supposed to host the Oscars, and they went and dug up tweets from 10 years ago.
Yeah, because of the what was that, 2-3 years ago? I don't
know.
What
and someone on the committee went and dug up tweets from 10 years ago.
So again, why is it always that the biggest stories around the Oscars have nothing to do with who actually won it?
And by the way,
it's either, oh wait, the wrong movie won Best Picture, and then
no, but let me point out something here. Kevin Hart, you needed Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart doesn't need you. Okay? Same thing here. When you have these big time names hosting, they don't need the award shows. They don't need them.
They don't need them. And so, you know what?
If you piss them off, they're just going to say, "Fuck you! I don't need you."
And I get the feeling this is going to stop them from hiring any more comedians to be.
Well, you can't do that. That's not fair. You can't do that.
I mean, you can't do that, but again, it's not exactly something.
How can you do that after Amy Schumer and Wanda Sykes were 2 of the 3 hosts?
Again, but this is a how should I put this?
Just be honest, because that's what we're doing right now.
This is I mean, we've seen how the Oscars react. They learn the wrong lesson from everything.
Right.
It's a lesson that they should learn, but they don't.
And by the way,
So there is a good way to fix it. However, they won't take the right lesson. They'll fix it the wrong way.
and by the way, can we stop hiring Wanda Sykes to host shows, please?
I mean, I like Wanda Sykes, so
No,
I
I
can't
like
complain.
her as an actress in movies. She's in really funny movies, but don't hire her to host things. It's all political.
Why do you keep saying that?
It is all political.
See, honestly, I think the problem that you have with politics is that you don't agree with her politics.
No, that's I don't watch award shows because it's full of politics.
I mean, if you really feel that way, I'm not gonna call you on it. But I'm just saying.
You're telling me though that the jokes about the Florida gay bill were not politics?
No, they were absolutely politics, but there was nothing radical about it. It was strictly middle of the road.
I mean, I should have known.
Everybody who's not Ron DeSantis hates that bill.
God, well,
And
yeah.
we'll get more into that in a moment.
And by the way, we both hate that bill. The point is that I'm just pointing out, I don't want to hear political nonsense. Now, I'm going to say this, you're going to get mad at me, but it's not my point of view. I'm just making a point that when the whole Trump thing was still in play and he was president and whatnot, you don't think it was a little ridiculous that they were spending most of the time during the award shows talking politics and Trump?
I mean, people were looking for any sort of person to act as a rhetorical counterweight to him, which is why we saw Michael Avenatti get his 15 minutes of fame before they carted his ass off to jail.
Well, because
it turned out the man is a crook, as crooked as the day is long.
That's true, and he tried to extort Nike. That's a whole different issue. But my point is, if you look at guys like Robert De Niro, I didn't even see Robert De Niro. That was kind of weird to me. By the way,
no, he was there.
Was he there? I didn't see him at all.
Yeah, because they did a 50th anniversary tribute to the Oscars, which to The Godfather, but that was not done very well.
Well, yeah, I saw someone complain about
that's the other thing about this Oscars. It wasn't really that good, because if it wasn't for the slap, nobody'd really be talking about it.
The ratings were down for like the 5th straight year.
Nobody would be talking about it if this didn't happen. So, you know what? You get what you wanted, but you sure you wanted it like this? That's why I referred to it before as a monkey's paw situation.
I would have laughed, though, if Jim Carrey would have actually sued for $200 million.
Oh, God.
Not that he needs the money by any means.
You know what? Just stop thinking celebrities. Really, just
no. I'm not saying I know celebrities.
No, I'm not saying you in particular. I'm just saying we as a culture need to stop thinking that these people are we know these people or they are our friends in any way. Unless you're their family, you don't know jack shit about them.
Go ask Bill Cosby about that.
Moving on.
America's favorite dad, right?
Yeah.
All right.
How long that lasted?
Yeah, really. Okay, let's move on. We'll talk more money. YouTube family charges, let's just say $500 a ticket for their wedding.
So, enlighten me. So, this is a YouTuber couple that got married?
So, you know how the big thing now is if you can create content on YouTube, we're doing it. We have our Empty the Bench Podcast Network channel, which is growing on it slowly, but we're doing it. And this is a family called the Ace Family on YouTube. They're a Los Angeles-based YouTube channel started by Austin and Catherine McBroom. Oy. Talk about funny last names. And like typical channels, what do you think their content is? Prank videos.
Prank videos and videos of their children. Now, the Ace Family, as the name implies, they're basically they're not parenting vlogs, but they're basically like the real toxic version of YouTube, where they shove their kids in front of the camera. It's like, be famous.
It's daily vlogging, is what they call it.
It's daily vlogging, and God, I feel bad for those kids.
And wow, this story actually put the name of the kids in there. Okay. I need you to answer a journalism question for me again. Why is it because the kids' names are on the YouTube channel? Is that why they can put them in the story?
Because they are technically heavily featured as part of the channel, and their names and faces are unblurred. Technically, if they were civilians, if they were not quote unquote public figures, you would leave their names out of it. But since they are public figures, it's fair game.
Now, you're going to laugh when I tell you the amount of subscribers this channel has.
Somewhere in the hundreds of millions, I think.
Well, it's not hundreds of millions, but they have 18 million subscribers, which
is a drop, which is a sizable amount, but compared to for their market, but compared to the others on YouTube, that's a drop in the bucket.
Well, Mr. Beast, everyone who knows, we've talked about Mr. Beast before, who does really amazing content. He has
something like 300 something million, right?
I don't know, not on YouTube. I know on YouTube he has about 22 or 23 million. So, which is still not a drop in the bucket.
So they are charging $299.
No, $499.
$499 to get a ticket to their wedding. Of course, they are saying that 5,000 people can go to their wedding, but they need to buy a ticket.
Have you ever heard of such a thing?
I have, but it usually involves some kind of multi-level marketing scheme. It usually involves selling Amway or Mary Kay or something like that. I really wouldn't. I honestly, I should have expected this because
I can tell you why they're doing it. So, since 2016, as I said, the Ace family has garnered more than 18 million subscribers and multiple controversies. Last year was particularly rocky for the couple, with multiple lawsuits filed against them and a foreclosure threat made to the family's $10.1 million mansion.
So therefore, I mean, they said that they are stepping away from YouTubing full time. So I guess you got to keep the grift going any way you can.
Wait a minute. I didn't read this part of the story. In one of their most recent videos, the couple announced their plans to host a festival in place of continuing the YouTube channel. The event will be called the Ace Fest and held sometime in Los Angeles in August 2022. Quote, the sad news is this is the last year that the Ace family will be on YouTube. We actually wanted to make this video a year ago, and we wanted a year ago to be out to be our last year, but we just can't seem to stop doing what we love to do.
Yeah, I think you're being forced to stop rather than your legal department going, don't do that.
This is so ridiculous. I'm reading wait a minute.
It seems to be a calculated system to separate rubes from their money.
Wait a minute. Ace Fest will be open to all ages and is described on the event webpage as, quote, Disneyland meets Coachella.
Which I don't know if that's something I would want to go to.
It's also advertised as...
Disneyland prices, maybe.
Wait a minute. It's also advertised as, quote, maybe the last Ace family event. Wait a minute. Am I missing something here?
See, it's always part of the grift. Everything is content, and content is everything.
Wait a minute. There'll be 2 different ticketing options. Wait, here we go. Okay. The first ticketing option is the silver one. You buy a ticket, and that's +2. The silver ticket is $299 and allows guests to go on free rides and play games. The second option is you get a ticket, and then you get a +4. That's $499. This option is referred to as the VIP Pass Gold ticket.
See, that is a monument to ego and the perils of Lake. I don't even think a traveling circus in the turn of the 20th century could come up with a grift like that.
Wait a minute. And if you buy...
All those dead ringleaders are just going, bravo, bravo.
But wait, there's more. So 2 of those people who buy the VIP golden ticket are going to get access to what?
Access to meet them.
No, the wedding.
Oh, my God. Because we all know how everybody loves to go to weddings, even though. First of all, let me just set the record straight. If you're invited to a wedding and it's not somebody that you're personally close to, why would you go?
Who gives a fuck?
Who gives a yeah, exactly. Who gives a shit?
Now, wait a minute. So now here's some of the lawsuits. I so hope they watch this episode because I love trashing the shit out of people who don't deserve stuff. A month before posting the video, news circulated that Austin, one of the kids, had reportedly settled 2 lawsuits that came from the YouTube versus TikTokers. Do you remember that event?
Oh Christ!
Weeks after the
God, I hate the fact that I know what you're talking about.
and I'm choking. That's how bad I hate this thing. So weeks after the fight took place, several participants came forward to say they weren't paid. Oh, gosh. I'm trying not to die here, everybody. Months after the boxing event, Austin was sued for $200,000 by the city of Beverly Hills after hosting an unsanctioned event of Ace Family fans for YouTube takeover.
Oh God. Ladies and gentlemen, it's just why don't more people realize that they're just trying to get you for your money? The content was free on YouTube, but again, that's always the end objective. It's not because they care. It's not because they care about you. They just want what's in your wallet. That's all I have to say.
Well, the one thing I'll say is that's why Patreon has become popular now, because people don't give a shit. I mean, some people will just say, hey, I'll do it for free. Like, full disclosure, this network that we're working on, we really don't want to charge people to watch our content. We don't.
I mean, yeah, I'd rather not.
We're working with Knack. That's our first sponsor. So please go check them out. That's helping us grow.
Yeah, that helps us. But to do this would be, I think, a bridge too far, because
the way
honestly,
if we were going to do that, I would say, hey, if you can give us $1 a month, that's all I would ask for.
If we were going to do it, it would have to. Besides, it's not like we're going to create empty the bench land as a giant tax write-off in Calabasas, California.
That'd be really fun, by the way. But
it's not like we're going to do that. So, although if we could do it as like a one-day pop-up, like as a joke, I mean, yeah, that would be funny. But still.
But even if we're going to charge you $1 a month, we're going to give you something on top of it.
Yeah, it's not like we're charging you $299 just to grace you with our presences. It's like who the fuck do we think we are?
I mean, we're 2 of the largest egos on our podcast network, but we still wouldn't do that.
I mean, ego has a limit. I mean, even I'm going. No, I wouldn't even pay $2 to see my fat ass.
But
ladies and gentlemen, that's all I have to say.
I'm surprised I didn't do this for this story, but I'm just going to do it.
Moving on.
All right. Well, we can talk about, speaking of splitting up the family, let's talk about something else that's been split in half. Katy Perry's pants.
It's not like it's not like she did a split and then just split her and then just split her pants. Apparently you said she bent down and then,
you know how, and hopefully, and you can make context on my point if I say it wrong or offend people, but you know when female artists, when they wear really tight pants,
female pop artists,
when they wear really, really tight pants, and they bend
like the ones that trap farts,
right? And you bend down from the waist down, and you just start bending, you're gonna rip your pants eventually.
I mean, something's gotta give.
And the worst part is
either the stitching on those pants weren't very tight, or I don't know what it is.
So the awkward part was they made a T on her butt because that's where it tore. And the worst part is like it looks like she is wearing another thong on top of her pants. That's what it looked like.
I mean, some people wear two pairs of underwear, and why not two pairs of thongs?
Wait, but one above and one on top?
Yeah, one's for
I mean,
show,
one
and the
below
other,
and one on top. Excuse me. Yes.
yeah, one's for showing, the other's for telling.
But I was just like, what the fuck? I was like, what is going on here? Not that, well, talk about getting attention for a show that's really been in the decline.
I mean, as you just brought that topic up, it's like, oh yeah, American Idol is still on the air.
You know what the sad part is? This is the same thing. Like the Oscars that got Will Smith slapping Chris Rock. Katy Perry has 100 million Twitter followers. I guarantee you that American Idol, even if they just put it up on their own account, they were salivating that it happened to Katy Perry.
I mean, like I said before, in this day and age, content is everything, and everything is content.
Yeah, but splitting someone's pants is content.
Even that's content.
Maybe you and I are.
Look, I'm a person who's been lucky enough to not have my pants split.
Me neither.
But my shoes have exploded. So
the one awkward moment I did have, and I haven't told this to many people, at my brother's wedding. This was after the ceremony. We were in the dance hall, all that stuff, and one of my shoes was not broken in all the way. So every time I would move on that shoe, I would slip partially because there was no traction on the shoe. And I was going up to give another speech or something, or sing when I did. We would do some parody stuff and funny stuff at the wedding. Anyway, so I went up. Someone spilled, and I didn't see it. Water was dripping off cups as they were being carried around on those like waiter dish things. My shoe, because there was no traction on it, it takes the smallest amount of water. I slipped and went about, I want to say like 3-4 feet up in the air. I'm not even kidding you. It felt like an eternity when I slipped and went up in the air.
My shoes literally, at a christening, my shoes literally came apart at the seams.
No, but wait a second. So that happens. I felt so awkward because the whole wedding and like the music stopped. Everybody stopped. I was like, oh shit. I just made a spectacle at the wedding. And I wasn't even trying.
Oh, God.
So that was fun. Everyone thought like I was going to sue the place because I fell. Like, I was like, no. How does that accomplish anything? All right.
Moving on.
Now the story that you don't like. But we have to talk about it anyway.
So when we last left you, when we talked about this topic last week, the bill I don't think had passed yet.
It was passed because they were talking about it already.
Oh yeah, you're right. So it had passed, but Disney was still saying, "Oh, they were still fence sitting." Well, now they're not. Now they put out a full-throated statement saying they're going to do everything they can, quote unquote, to help the bill be repealed. Now, this is something that could normally be taken care of with a phone call to the right people, because Disney is, in this monopolistic world we live in, they're more powerful than some heads of state. So they promised to do everything they could to repeal the bill. And Ron DeSantis did not take that right. He did not take that well. So now
wow, shocker. Ron DeSantis.
He has been saying, and people on Fox News have been saying, all the gang have been railing about woke corporations and Disney's trying to indoctrinate your kids. It's like, so it is a better. I think. I mean, I still can't get over the fact that this was a completely self-inflicted wound. All Bob Chapek had to say.
Bob Chapek is the dumbest CEO in the history of CEOs.
He fumbled the ball so hard. I think it went through the Earth's crust.
Well, what I was going to say is, and you and I say this all the time in the sports world when we're on Empty the Bench and people say dumb things. How about if you never opened your mouth, this never would have happened?
Again, all you had to do was say that. All you had to do was say, we're going to pause our donation to Republican candidates until we can get this. Knowing how many LGBTQ employees actually do work for Disney and how many of them were very pissed off about it,
You had a walkout.
I would really reconsider not wanting Disney to be seen as too liberal.
Wait a
as
minute.
such a thing could really
Time
exist.
out. We were talking about a walkout the last time on the last episode.
And that to my knowledge is still going on. But again,
But they're going to do what every other corporate overlord does. They'll just find people who want to work.
if it affects their bottom line, they're going to say something. And now it affects their bottom line.
Well, we don't know that officially. We just know it.
We don't know that officially, but they want to be seen. It's not necessarily that they do the right thing. They want to give the perception that they're doing the right thing.
Oh, wait a minute.
They want to be seen doing it, even if nothing substantial changes from this. They want to look like they were on the right side of history.
No, what they're doing is they realize their CEO said something fucked up. Oops, I better take that back now.
Especially considering he's accountable to Disney shareholders, and they are, at last I heard, they were none too pleased with him.
I mean, look at who the last CEO at Disney was. He wasn't exactly the smartest guy in the room.
Bob Iger, say what you will about Bob Iger, he understood if he needed to push buttons, he pushed buttons.
No, but Bob Iger said some dumb things over the years.
You needed to at least look like you were on the right side of history, which again is a pretty goddamn low bar.
Wait a minute. I think Bob Chapek was basically...
Yeah, he's basically, I can't see. I don't know what you're talking about.
Or he's acting like, I think that was Chapek Bob who said it.
No, it was Bill Chingus. That's who it was.
The thing is, you have an asshole in Florida, in Ron DeSantis, putting out a bill. The craziest Republican probably on that side of the aisle.
Because culture war is all he's got. He can't actually govern.
And you're going to take...
All he can do is just stick it to the libs and hate the gays. That's all he's got.
And let me point something out. The LGBTQ and Disney are a direct correlation to one another, if you think about it.
Yes.
Because, I don't want people to take this the wrong way, but that community loves Disney.
Well, like I said, a lot of LGBTQ people work there.
No, but my point is, and I'm trying not to offend people, I'm trying to say this in the most accurate way possible.
I'm saying
that...
I understand what you're saying, but I feel uncomfortable.
No.
With that broad.
But that's not what I mean, though. I'm saying that their community loves Disney. Oh, God. I said Disney like when I was a kid. Disney. They love Disney. They can relate to Disney. And now their childhood is being screwed up because the CEO can't keep his mouth shut.
Again, this is a self-inflicted wound. And you know what? A smart person would say that this is a lesson learned. But we're not dealing with smart people. We're dealing with rich people.
So Bob Iger essentially was removed, even though he said he walked away. Bob Iger was essentially removed.
He was thinking about walking away for a while, but he was... I think the pressures of the job got a little bit too much for him.
So why hasn't anyone put Chapek's ass on the chopping block?
Apparently he's up for reinstatement not reinstatement, but the re-election, to use an outdated term, as the CEO, and apparently the shareholders will not back him when it comes up to a vote.
Gee, I wonder why.
I wonder fucking why.
And you know what? I can relate and understand this community.
they already have it as hard as it is already. You don't need to give them
The state of Florida is trying to make it so you can't even say the word gay in a Florida school without some parents suing the pants off you.
Fuck Ron DeSantis. Ron DeSantis should be gone. He should be impeached from his position.
I mean, I've made my feelings clear. I don't want to turn this into a politics.
No, I'm just saying it. I'm not saying for his politics. I'm saying for some of the horrible things he's done.
Exactly. I mean, but honestly, Disney throwing the weight around and saying that basically, the state of Florida would not exist if not for Disney propping them up.
No shit. That's where everybody goes. If you think about it, Florida is like Vegas. It's the kids' version of Vegas, where all kids go to Florida. They go to Disney World. They go and do all the different things there. When you're adult, you go to Vegas and you go there. It's the same thing. You're going to destroy the business. Florida's going to go down in flames.
I mean, what else do you have besides South Beach? That's it.
And that's not really a kids thing if you think about it.
It's not really a kids thing. Exactly.
So it's not like a kid is going to a bar and paying $20 for a drink at South Beach. But
well, you say that, and now some bar in South Beach is going to end up charging like $20 for
they do
a pouch of Capri Sun.
But that's not a joke. Some like really fancy places in Florida charge $20 for one drink.
Of course, because it's South Beach. But
I don't know how to. This is a tough story, like you said, to really, because some people are going to be on each side of it. Well, I'm an old-fashioned Republican.
I know what. Look, you know what the right thing to do is. I know what the right thing to do is. Most of us know what the right thing to do is. But Disney should not have. It should not have needed help to come to the right decision.
Well,
I know corporations aren't people, but you need to be able to at least look with your eyes and see where the wind is blowing here.
Actually, you need to look with your eyes and not your dollars.
But again, that's inextricable. Again, if the install base of your paying customers, the people that are brand loyal, and there are people that are brand loyal, they make it their entire existence at Disney. If they don't like it, listen to what your customers are telling you.
By the way, there are people that have worked for Disney from 30 to 50 years. Like, that's all they do.
Again, if you're looking at that's what I mean when I say look which way the wind is blowing. Because if your customers are saying we don't like this, don't support it, listen to them.
Well, you have to remember, people in corporate, people who are CEOs, they think they know better. They know better than their customers.
They think they know better because because they're richer, they are therefore smarter than everybody else.
You know how they say
that is, of course, a fallacy.
And by the way, we're learning this too as we grow as I go back to our podcast network for a second. We're trying to learn from feedback from the outside to grow what we do.
Yes.
And you think we're going to say to people, fuck off, we're not listening to you? Like, no, we're going to take it doesn't mean every piece of feedback is right. It just means you have to listen and see how to adjust.
Yes, keeping an ear open is always a good thing. But you know what? Even like I said, even if nobody gonna say that Disney actually cares about these things. They care about their money. And if the people whose money you want care about this, they're not going to spend money. And you can't have that happen. It's bad for business.
I'm not going to say the name of the professor, but one I had at LIU was a Disney fanatic. Disney fanatic, still is. She goes every year. She just went to the recent anniversary that they had.
Oh yeah, for
50 years or
Disney
something.
World. Yeah, for Disney World.
And like she used to come back. She used to do a Disney show on LIU's radio station. But she was a fanatic, a big fanatic in every way. That's the people we're talking about here. That if you don't remain brand loyal, you're not going to get the sales. You're not going to get what you want out of it.
Nobody is.
So it is what it is. And unfortunately, Florida, and what is that saying? I think I asked you last time, when you make a mistake and then you got to lie in it, basically.
Well, you made your bed, now you have to sleep in it.
Or lie in it, whichever.
Yeah.
Same thing. But yes, you lay in the bed, now you got to lie in it, basically. And so it is what it is. Disney's going to have to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
They're corporate. They'll do something stupid to make an excuse for it at this point.
Yep.
All right. Let's see. One more story here. And you kind of brought this to my attention, this story.
So, for those of you who don't know, Ezra Miller plays the Flash in the DC Extended Universe. And I don't know if you've ever seen any of the movies that he's been in. But, because, of course, you're not a nerd like me. And this man has been arrested in Hawaii for disorderly conduct and harassment in a karaoke bar. So apparently somebody was singing the song "Shallow" from that Star Is Born remake, and he went ballistic and started harassing people. And what's weird to me is this is not the first time that they've caused problems. Of course, I'm using they because he's non-binary.
Right.
They are non-binary, so you have to understand something. I mean, this is when you really are trying to get your multimedia project off the ground. And plus it took because the Flash is supposed to be coming out next year, after it took 6 or 7 years to make, and the fact that this is happening with your star is not exactly a really ringing endorsement of their behavior.
He's got bail too.
Yeah, they do.
$500 bail. Not that it means anything, but
not that it means anything. But again, this is not the first time this has happened to them, or this is not the first time they've done this. So, again, this is.
Wait a minute. He did this in 2020 in Iceland too.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did.
Choked a woman in a bar.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck is wrong with this guy? They. Oh.
And that was recorded too. There's cell phone video of that.
That's why. And Nick, do we have to say it again? When you're a public figure, don't do something stupid because you can get recorded.
That you are being recorded at all times.
By the way, I don't
know whether he's got they've got an alcohol problem.
I got to be careful with this because I'm going to say the wrong mannerism each time. Remember this happened with Demi Lovato? We kept making that mistake.
Yeah. Did we? Yeah, we did. But yeah, it's hard to keep track. But at least it's respect. I mean, you have to at least, if that's what they want to go by, then that's what we'll do.
No, I don't have a problem with it. I just gotta get it into my head when
just gotta get it into my head.
Someone is non-binary. You have to remember to say they, but apparently they have been in a lot of different projects. So
this has been, and you're and this is kind of weird, but again, that's basically all I wanted to say. This was. Once is an aberration, two is a habit. There might be something up here. I'm not about to throw around accusations, but I hope if he needs help, if they need help, they get what they need.
I mean, excuse me. I would say that if you did this once and you're part of a big project, especially with Warner Brothers being behind it. Maybe they should
as much money as they did.
Maybe they should have said, "Hey, this happened once.
Hey, Ezra, this happened once.
Like we're watching you like a hawk now that you got arrested once. Maybe you shouldn't do it again."
Maybe. But then again, our life is our life is built upon maybes, isn't it? Maybe this, maybe that.
Right. But my point is, why are you choking people at a karaoke bar?
I don't know. I don't know why they did that.
And yelling obscenities. It says it here too.
I don't know why they did that. whether they got drunk or just I don't know, something weird.
There's always been weird incidents. What did you say? Was the song "Shallow"?
Apparently it was. Of course, that was something I sourced from. That was something that somebody had tweeted. So I'm not
It's
sure.
not in this story though.
I'm not sure if
I'm
that's
looking around. I don't
if
see
that's
it.
actually true.
They're just saying it's a karaoke bar. There was a incident of choking. By the way, and you have to remember, and we don't talk about this very often. Your actions show what type of person you are.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're choking
what you
people,
say, it's what you do.
if you're choking people, or you're yelling obscenities at people
In a karaoke bar for no reason.
twice, not just once, twice. Like you said, 2 is a habit. Okay.
So this is gonna. So I don't know what's going to happen with it, but if they need help, I hope that they get the help.
I mean,
the help that they need.
Do you remember when Demi was going through her period of time? This was right after her, what was it? The withdrawal, or not the withdrawal? The
When she just got out of
overdose.
rehab,
The overdosed, and
right after she.
And remember, like she just came, like she was going through it, like, and she was yelling at people. She was hurting herself at one point, and she was. Remember, she walked in.
She got the help she needed. So
right, but remember, she walked into the diet shop, like, or what was it, the donut shop or the yogurt shop?
The donut shop.
And like she was mad because she couldn't. There was no like dietary options, and then she just got mad, and it became public and all that stuff. That's kind of this.
I think
that's this a little bit, like where you're walking into a karaoke bar, you don't like it, and they exploded.
Oh God!
I'm just saying. Well, sometimes people who are public figures and have big names, they think that their opinion matters more than everybody else's does. Right?
I know they do.
Public figures think that their opinions and their actions don't deserve any consequences.
Like I said, it's not cancel culture; it's consequence culture.
Right? And I was
reaction, and if they're to bring us full circle to where we began, if you talk shit, you get hit.
Oh, I like that.
Reaction.
I like that. That's a good saying.
Action, reaction, cause, effect.
And I'll take this topic off. We'll just finish off basically with everyone needs to take a chill pill and realize that just because you're a celebrity, whether you're a musician, an actor, actress, social media figure like the Ace family, you need to realize where you came from when you started. People forget that. I think Will Smith might have forgotten that when he was on the stage. Just a tad. I think the Ace family forgot where they came from. Everyone started at 0 once. We started at 0, and we're slowly building up. Okay? So you have to realize you don't charge your fans. They're the ones that are supporting you. You don't choke. And I'm assuming because when you go to a bar, you're going to see some of the fans that are fans of yours at a bar. So this all goes back to your fans are your support system, not the ones you should be beating up and going after.
Exactly.
So, did I just become preachy? Oh, God.
I mean, I can get you a soapbox.
That's usually your job. You haven't done the soapbox thing in a while.
Yeah, but there's a difference between the soapbox and the town crier. Because the town crier, it's not necessarily a decree from the emperor. It's really more, hey, guys.
I missed that. You got to bring that back to Empty the Bench, actually.
I do.
Hear ye! Hear ye!
His Royal Majesty doth decree that the subjects shall not be abused physically, mentally, or emotionally.
I missed that.
Under pain of torture.
Yeah, that's about right. But yeah, that'll just about do it for episode 23 of Beyond the Bench. Make sure you follow us on social media, on Twitter, at Beyond the Bench 1, on Facebook, facebook.com/Beyond the Bench 1. And I keep forgetting to put it up, but we are on Instagram as well, at Beyond the Bench on Instagram. So we are on all the platforms now, except TikTok, because we're old geezers and we don't have that.
You make sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, so you can be kept abreast of all the new goings on. We've got a bunch of new people coming in within the next couple of weeks to do shows, so just make sure you don't miss any of that.
Yep. And also make sure you follow our presenting sponsor of the podcast network, Knack. Like I said, go get yourself a Knack bag. And when you put in the code BEYOND, BEYOND at checkout, you get a free TSA-approved lock, $15 value for free when you buy a Knack bag as well. So please go support our sponsor so we can bring you even more content, which we have planned.
Like I said, everything is content, and content is everything. Another full circle moment.
And by the way, the one thing I'll point out as well, we're not going to do dumb content for the sake of getting views. We like to do content because we're being funny and we're laughing at ourselves or we're entertaining people. We're not going to do dumb shit like some celebrities do. That's just my PSA.
I was thinking about sticking a firecracker down my pants during the 4th of July, but thanks for giving it away.
Oh, boy. All right.
So for Nick Morgasen, I'm Nick Fodera, and good night, everybody. We'll see you back on the bench.
We'll see you next week for episode 24. Have a good day, everybody.